Well. What's going on, everybody? Happy Hump Day. This is Buckles Locke with your host Isaiah coming to you again. Subscribe, like, comment, share on all the videos. Don't forget to hit the notification bell icon to notify you on all new videos that's posted on this channel. Shouts out to all the privacy bandits. We are here. We are here. Hump day. Hump day. Okay. Hump day. All right. Everybody good. Everybody got it out your system. We done celebrated the victory this past Monday. On to the next game. It is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? And as you can see, my hashtag, easy victory. Hashtag easy victory, right? So that's what we're gonna go with tonight. Oh, that hurt my eyes. I gotta cut the lights on. All right, so Tampa Bay and Chicago Bears. Old division rivals, NFC North. Old divisional rivals back in the 90s. The black and blue division. Bucs, Bears, Vikings, Packers. I don't even know how did that even happen like that? That was weird. The Bucs were in the NFC North. That was so awkward. Now that you go back and think about it, and you just kind of be like, it never made any sense, but they made it make sense. I don't know. They made it make sense. So let's get down to business. Let me get some early thoughts. What y'all think gonna happen? Let's get that out the way right now, because there's some keys to victory that the Bucs must do. And I think they will, but we'll get to that in a second. As you do know, I got the Bucs winning this game, obviously, but we'll get down to the score prediction at the end of the video. But I do want to talk about some details in the video. Chicago. I'm going to talk about the Bucs. Things that they need to improve on. Things that they did well from the previous game that can carry over to this game. And the things they did not do well that they need to do in this game. Right? So, where should I start at? Should I start with the Bucs offense? Should I start with the Bucs defense? Should I start with the Bucs special teams? Should I start with the OC, Dave Canales? Should I start with Todd Bowles? Who should I start with when it comes to this preview video? My thoughts about the game coming up this Sunday. That first Tony, man, look, it is what it is, man. Like, let them talk. The Bears fans, every year, the Bears fans remind me of they are a worse version of the Jets fans. Every year they talk this noise about, especially the last 3 years, and we'll get into Justin Fields. But man, at some point, Bears fans got to start admitting that Justin Fields might not be it. Well, we'll get into that in a little bit, but I want to start with the Bucs first. So let me start with the good with the Bucs. Let me start with that. What I like, what the Bucs did good, and then some of you might not agree with it, but I thought it was good, right? Just I'm gonna talk about the good offensively and defensively, what they need to continue on doing, in this game from last week. So I'm gonna start with the offense. Offensively, what they did good, they was balanced. They ran the ball 33 times. They threw the ball 34 times or 35 times, I believe. Or they had 68 plays? I believe, but it was a balanced offense. It was almost like 50-50. And here's the things I liked what the Bucs did. Some of the play calling was sketchy at the beginning. We can all agree with that, right? We we saw it in the first half. It was a little sketchy, right? It was actually not a little sketchy, but it was quite sketchy. And I think that was just trying to get a feel for what they wanted to do. Now, granted, Minnesota defense is not like some top tier defense. And I said this before. I just thought they was going to win based on their offense, but I knew their defense wasn't good. So Baker didn't throw for a lot of yards, and they didn't run for a lot of yards, but they stuck with the game plan. And when you comb through all those terrible run plays, they had a couple runs that were decent. They wasn't great, they were decent. And if they can build off of those few runs that they had, I think Sean Tucker had one or two good runs, and then Rachaad White had a couple good runs. They need to go back and view those 2 or 3 or 4 runs that worked. And what did they do in that play? What was the down and distance? What was the blocking scheme called? Where did they go at? Because I really want the Bucs to improve their game run, like their running game. I really do, because I'm telling you, it will be beneficial for this team if they want to go anywhere, and I mean that. It will be hard to sustain this type of offense when you don't have any running game, and you have a quarterback that we do know that can be erratic. He'll give you some games that, like we saw Sunday, and even Sunday wasn't a great game, but he'll give you those moments. We saw it in Baker's previous tenures at other teams. He'll give you these moments, and then it'll be like, what just happened? So the running game is very vital for any Bucs success. Now, we got away with it last week. Now, mind you, we didn't have any run game last week, but we had 3 turnovers defensively, and we needed every single turnover to win that game. You know what I'm saying? They have to improve in that, because if they don't, because after the Bears, they got the Eagles. I mean, and the Eagles are already prepping. I think the Eagles already, they sitting Kenneth Gainwell, and they're sitting James Bradbury already. They're sitting some starters out already. So they already kind of looking ahead for the Monday Night Football game. They already looking ahead for that. They're thinking 2 steps ahead. They're not thinking about the Vikings. I think they'll beat the Vikings, but they're not thinking about the Vikings. They're thinking about us. Because Bradbury and Kenneth Gainwell's not playing. Fletcher Cox has an injury too. Remember what I told y'all about the variables? Some things going to have to happen for the Bucs to, be successful throughout the season. And we saw it in week 1 already, right? We saw the turnovers. We have to win the turnover battle. We have to get the bounces, right? We got that. That was a check. Don't turn the ball over. We didn't turn the ball over. Wasn't great, but efficient. So they can carry this over to the Bears, against the Bears. That's good. That will be another building block for the Bucs, if that makes sense. That will be another building block for the Bucs if they can just take what they did in game 1, which is some timely throws, a handful of runs that was decent, and take those plays and build upon that. So they have a foundation. They have a foundation they can build on. Remember, as this season goes, we're going to see how this team turn out. And like I said, it's still early. I'm going to stand on this. We don't know what the Bucs going to look like in week 9. Because last year, and I like to do a reference here, because I'm not saying they're last year's team, but I think they're similar. As far as how it's structured. Running game, not great. Passing game, it's going to be a lot of, quick throws. And the thing about it, I would say that the difference that I do see between last year and this year, already in week 1, is the passing game concepts. Watching all 22 and watching how they was functioning. These things they were not doing last year, right? Now, they did do a couple things that was similar to last year, like they threw a deep ball on a 3rd down. That was kind of weird, but a long pass over 20 yards and incomplete. I think it was a Cole Keith. It was incomplete. So that was kind of like some remnants of what Byron Leftwich like to do. But I think the Bucs going to be good between the 0 and 10 yards throws. I think they'll be decent because if you watched the Vikings game and carried it over to this game, if you look at the Bears secondary against our offense, Jordan Love, who I don't have a high grade on Jordan Love as far as me. Jordan Love is not that type of dude. I don't know how he gonna turn about just based on how I'm watching him. He had 245 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Bears secondary or the Bears defense. Now, I will say this. The Bears do have a couple guys in their secondary that I like. I do. Jaquan Brisker, Jalen Johnson, Eddie Jackson. Those are good young players. Then they got Tyree Stevenson, the rookie from Miami. So they got some good young players in their secondary. They just need to develop. I'm not going to sit here and bash the Bears and say, they got nobody good on their team. They got a couple of good guys. DJ Moore, he's nice. I think Moody's nice too. You know what I'm saying? I think the problem they have is their quarterback, and we'll get into that, later on in the video. They got a decent tight end, Cole Kmet. I like their right tackle, Darnell Wright, the rookie from Tennessee, who I thought the Bucs might try to go get. But so like I said, they have a couple guys that I rock with, as far as like football wise. Now, I'm not a Bears fan. I'm just saying I like football. So those are some of the guys I do like on their team. But offensively, the Bucs can be successful through the air. I think I don't know when the running game is going to make sense. I think we'll see spurts of it, but I think right now, I think the running game is the worst part of the offense right now. Already week 1. Week 1. So I don't see the running game being a big factor going into this game. I think the Bucs to win offensively is they're gonna have to kind of like a similar game plan of last week, but be a little. I'm not saying be all the way aggressive, but be a little bit more, because 173 yards, 160 something, that's not going to work every week. I think we can agree with that, unless the Bucs defense just are lights out every week, week in and week out, and Baker doesn't have to do a lot, which is a good thing. There will become a point in time where Baker's going to have to do a lot. That's when we're going to find out what type of Baker we got. When it gets tight, when the points start rolling, when they got to score points, or when we're down, 10 points. Well, how do you act then? You know what I'm saying? So we're going to see, but as of right now against the Bears, I don't think that's going to be necessary. That's not going to be necessary for the Bucs to do offensively this game. They're not going to have to panic. They're not going to have to be overly aggressive against the Bears defense, despite the fact that they got some good young players. Even they got a couple guys on the line that's pretty decent. I'm not a believer in their head coach, Matt Eberflus. I think he's terrible. But I've seen enough of him already. But as far as the running game, I got to emphasize this, folks. I really want to emphasize the run game. It needs to get better this week. It needs 2.2 yards a carry. Rachaad White had 17 carries for 39 yards. That needs to get better. Now, do we got to have a beast mode running game to win this game? No, but it needs to improve on the 2.2 yards a carry. Now, the bar is set low. The bar is set low for the Bucs running game. So anything better than 2.2 yards a carry is a win for the Bucs. Do not make the Chicago Bears run defense look like some beast mode run defense. They're not. That's going to be one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to in this game. Now, as far as the O-line wise, run blocking, they need to improve. Even Tristan Wirfs. Even the all-pro Tristan Wirfs, going back watching the tape, pass blocking, he was fine. But for whatever reason, Tristan and the rest of those guys on the O-line, I don't know why they can't get in sync. For this is the second year in a row. Now, mind you, Luke Gadecki, Hainsley, and Tristan Wirfs all played together last year. Now the newcomers, Matt Fryer and Cody Mulch, it's about cohesion. You know, cohesion. You have to build chemistry. I think it's going to take a minute because the run game is terrible. Until otherwise, you can't convince me, and I hate to say it like that, but no Bucs fan can convince me the Bucs running game is fine. Oh, it's still early. I don't care about that. To me, it's not good. It's basically carried over to this season. So the run game will be vital for this game. Now it's at home, so the Bucs should be comfortable. Remember, when you have a home game, you're more comfortable in your environment. So the Bucs, I would say this. I think the Bucs run game will look better this week, in my opinion. But as far as moving forward as the season progresses, it needs to get a lot better. Now, receiving wise, well, let me go to the tight ends. Cole Keith and K. Dotton. Are we going to get anything out of the tight ends? And why is Cole Keith the primary target on some of these throws? Now, I wonder if is Baker Mayfield comfortable throwing to the tight ends? Is Baker Mayfield comfortable throwing to tight ends? Now, like I said, K. Dotton's a good guy. I don't think he's a, game-changing tight end. I think he's a solid, tight end that can contribute. You feel me? And Cole Keith, he's an H-back / tight end. He's not explosive either. I want to see K. Dotton in the offense a little bit more. I think he can give a lot more what the Bucs are designed to give him. I think he can give a lot more. I mean, can you do anybody agree with that? Do you believe K. Dotton could be a little bit better utilized in this offense? Now, as this season goes along, I do want to see that. In this game, I do want to see some plays where we got Cole Keith controlling the middle of the field. I do want to see some plays that he can control the middle of the field. Chicago Bears linebackers are not good. They're not good. Terrible. That's the weak spot. Now, like I said, they got a good young secondary along with the rookie Stevenson, but I think the Bears' weakness for the Bucs to attack is the linebackers. So that means Cole Keith, and K. Dotton, and even Rachaad White and Sean Tucker catching those checkdowns. It's going to be good for this game to work that into the game plan, to the passing game plan. So you got to think about this. And then the receiving wise, now this is going to be the best matchup of the day for me. The Bucs receivers versus a young, talented Bears secondary. Even though they got, Jordan Love threw the ball for 245 yards, 3 touchdowns, and yada yada yada. But I think those guys are decent. Those guys are young. They need to gel together. I think they go down the road, not against us, but they'll tighten up. But the problem is their front seven is not good. They didn't really get any pressure on Jordan Love. So in the Bucs O-line, when you go back and watch the tape, they did a better job pass blocking. Now, I'm not saying that it was perfect, but Baker did avoid some sacks. He did move around. And the fact that they have to move him around. Yeah, I know who Tremaine Evans is and TJ. They're not good. Tremaine Evans is overpaid. He didn't do much in Buffalo. He was overpaid. That's why Buffalo said no thanks. We got Matt Milano. The reason why I said the linebackers are terrible, I know who your linebackers are. They didn't show up last week. I know who your linebackers are. Relax. They was non-existent last week. On this past Sunday. They didn't do anything. They were they were irrelevant. Because if that was the case, then why in the world Jordan Love threw for 245 yards? I mean, if they were that good, the Chicago Bears spent all this money on TJ Edmonds and Tremaine Edmonds, and they still didn't do anything. They're nobodies to me. They're not better than our linebackers. And Buffalo said no thank you. Buffalo said no thanks, we good, Tremaine Edmonds. And then the Eagles said we good. We got Nakobe Dean. Now, if you want to get into football semantics, we can do that. But I do know football. The reason why I said your linebackers are terrible, I don't know who they are because they didn't do anything. I know football. I mean, you really can't go there with me. I mean, you really want to do that? I mean, you're going to embarrass yourself. But the reason why I didn't mention their name because they didn't do anything. High price free agents didn't do anything. Didn't do anything. That's why I say they're nobodies. I know who my linebackers are. As a matter of fact, I know quite a few linebackers around the NFL. I just don't know yours. That's all. No, don't take it personal. I just don't know your linebackers because they didn't do anything last week. You know, get out your feelings. It's okay. Jordan Love with no Christian Watson? And you telling me I don't know who your linebackers are? Of course I don't. They didn't do anything. So as I was saying, the Bucs secondary, the Bears secondary, and the Bucs receivers. That's going to be a fun matchup. Now, do I want to see more Trey Palmer and Raheem Jarrett? I think we will see them as the season move forward. You know, we'll see those guys come into the offense a lot more. But right now, the Bucs are going to lean on Godwin and Evans a lot. Now, for the Bucs to grow as a passing team in this game, this will be a game they can do that with. You know, oh, he's trying to go he's trying to talk like he basically trying to question my football. Like I don't know who they are. I know who they are. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he you know how he glossed over the fact that TJ Evans. I said he played for the Eagles, and then Tremaine Evans played for the Bills, and both teams said no, thank you. We're not going to give you money. You see how he skipped that, and he said, I don't know who their linebackers are. Okay. You skip right over that part. The football knowledge. I know about those guys. I've seen them play. But you notice how he skipped over that part. And then turns around and say, I don't know his linebacker. I don't know what linebackers are. I do know who the linebackers are. I do. The fact that I know those linebackers before they even got to the Bears. You didn't even know who they were before they got to the Bears. You didn't even know who they were before they got to the Bears. Oh, man. What are you doing? I know who they were. Don't embarrass yourself. You're not going to win this, buddy. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. I'm trying to tell you. You're going to embarrass yourself. I will cut you down. I will cut you down. I will cut you down. Overpaid linebackers. Spent all that money. Traded for DJ Moore. You got Chase Claypool. His status is unknown right now. But anyway, let's get back to the cooking before I cook him real good. Talking about, I don't know football. Okay, yeah. But you better worry about Chase Claypool. That's what you need to worry about. But so I think the Bucs have the advantage offensively against the Bears defense. Anytime you allow a quarterback that's, to me, still an unknown, Jordan Love, to do that with no Christian Watson, that's bad. That's bad. You don't even know who DJ Moore is. He just got to the team. I've been to who DJ Moore is. Remember, he played for the Panthers in the NFC South, so I know all about DJ Moore. Relax. You're embarrassing yourself. Every time you say something, you're not going to win. I keep telling you this. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. So as you're wasting your time. Somebody better tell him he's wasting his time. He's not going to win this football talk. He's not going to win. I'm telling you. I don't even got to do nothing. I can let my powers and C bands eat him up real good. I don't got to eat him up. I can eat him up real good on the football knowledge, but I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna let y'all handle that in the chat room. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I can send my powers and C bands with the football knowledge. They'll take care of him. The little troll. Yeah, he a little troll. I'm giving him a little attention right now. So as I was saying, I fully expect the Bucs specifically Godwin Evans, to take advantage uh of the Bucs of the Bears secondary. Um, it's so crazy. I got to say this too about the Bears secondary. As talented as those guys are individually, I was quite disappointed in their performance against Jordan Love with no Christian Watson. Very disappointed in the Bears secondary. Good players, but very disappointed. Why didn't they perform much better? As a matter of fact, why didn't the back seven perform a lot better than the high priced linebackers and those good young talented guys in the secondary? Why did they let Jordan Love do this? So you don't think Mike Evans and Chris Godwin gonna eat? You don't think Mike Evans and Chris Godwin gonna eat on that secondary? I promise you will. Now, as far as the Bucs passing game, this is a game where you can make the adjustments and improve, because the following week we got the Eagles. And we definitely going to need to have, now I will say this, watching the Eagles defense, we definitely going to need to be able to move that ball through the air. Now, granted, they got Darius Slade, and then Bradbury probably going to play that game. He'll probably be healthy that game, but because he's not going to play this game. So we're gonna need to improve and work on some things against the young Bears secondary or the back seven with those terrible linebackers that didn't do anything. They're getting paid all that money. So I'm very curious. Now let's get down to Rachaad White. Rachaad White. Anything from Rachaad White? I'm gonna say that. Can we get anything from him? There was a stat that I put up on the Facebook group. Expected yards, yards expected. Was it I think it was a CYOE, yards over expectations. I forgot what the C means, but it was yards over expectations. He was the worst in the NFL. It's like what is White? I know, to me, watching White run, I know what he is. He's a third down back. A really good third down back, pass block, catch the ball out of the backfield. And I think the Bucs going to find this out sooner than later. Am I expecting a lot from him in this game? No. To be honest with you, no, I don't. And it's not nothing. There's no knock on Rachaad. It's not a knock on him as a player. It's just his position. I think he's not a RB1. I would like to see Sean Tucker get more carries than 5. See, the Bucs don't have time to play this waiting out game, and like they did with, remember they did this last year with Leonard Fournette. They was running Leonard Fournette. He was getting all the snaps, and then right around halfway through the season, they realized that we should get Rachaad White some more carries. So let's just see if Todd Bowles realized this in the game, and Dave Canales recognize it in this game early. When you see Rachaad White, he starts struggling early, you got to change the pace. You got to put Tucker in there. We ain't got time to be waiting. This is a game that everything the Bucs need to work on: run blocking, running the ball, hitting the correct holes, no tap dancing, even working on the passing game. This is the perfect game to do that in. And I'm not saying the NFL, it is the highest level of profession in football. I'm not saying these games are gimme or these are easy games, but I mean, you can kind of look at it and say, well, after week 1, hashtag what did your eyes tell you? Hashtag what did your eyes tell you? If you did anybody watch the Bears game? I did. The Bears are not good right now. And this is a perfect opportunity for the Bucs to take advantage of offensively, to work on a lot of things. Because the performance from the offense was efficient, but it wasn't great. That's Joe Gilbert, the O-line coach. I'm not a fan of Joe Gilbert. I don't think he's done a great job run blocking, teaching those guys how to run block. They're leftovers from their Arians regime. Joe Gilbert, Harold Godwin, Keith Armstrong. There's still the remnants of Arians staff on the Bucs team. And they weren't built around running the ball. So Dave Canales coming in with a philosophy of balanced attack, run the ball, and Joe Gilbert is not Senator. He's not a run blocking O-line coach. That's not his strength. Harold Godwin, Larry Foote, was he the passing game coordinator? Like, these guys are built around a passing offense. They were a part of the 2019 offense, top 5. The 2020 offense, top 5. The 2021 offense, top 10. 2 5,000-yard passers. 2 guys throwing over 30 touchdowns. 1 guy, threw 40 touchdowns. They're used to that. They're not used to pound the ball. This is why I said this before about the regime, the leftovers from Arians' regime that Dave Canales had to accept. You mean to tell me Dave Canales didn't have any pull and say, I don't want Joe Gilbert as my O-line coach, and I don't want Harold Godwin as a part of the offensive staff, and I don't want to deal with Tom Moore. I don't want to deal with Harold Godwin. He had no choice. He had no choice but to accept Arians' leftovers or Arians, people. So you got to think about it. So there's a mixture of Arians folks on the offensive staff. That's Harold Godwin, Joe Gilbert, Larry Foote. That's not Dave Canales' guys. That is not his guys. That is not his philosophy. This is why I'm very curious as the offense developed, and especially in this game. How much better can the offense look this game? Because the bar is set low. It wasn't great offensively. Remember, the Bucs needed all 3 turnovers to win by 3 points. I'm going to repeat that. The Bucs needed. Shout out to Antoine Winfield Jr. We'll get to the defense in a second. Shout out to Christian Izien. We needed all 3 turnovers. Trying out the fumble recovery. We needed all 3 turnovers to win by 3 because that was offensively, it wasn't great. So this is the game to make the jump. Remember, every week you want to see the Bucs make a jump. Whether it's the entire offense, or whether it's the running game, or the passing game, tight ends, linebacker, something needs to improve every game. Not saying everybody needs to improve. Well, everybody does need to improve, but I'm just saying, game after game, I should be able to look at the team and say they did this better this week. They did this better this week. They did this better this week. Because if I go and watch a game, and like if I watch the game Sunday, when I watch this game Sunday, and some of the areas that I said they need to improve on looks the same, I'm gonna be like, what's going on here? Like, this is week 2. All right, I'm gonna give them till about week 7, 8, 9-ish. But hey, you're 2 weeks behind. You're 2 weeks behind. Remember, for every week they don't improve, they're behind. For every week they don't improve, they're a week behind. So week 2, they don't improve the running game, they're 2 weeks behind. If the passing game don't get better as a whole, not just, Baker was good in the 3rd quarter. No. He needs to be consistent all 4 quarters. All 4 quarters. Not this quarter here, or you have these moments, the angry run, get your weight up. That's cute. That's all tough and a lot of heart. But in football, in 17 games, it looks good now. But come week 9, week 10, week 11, get your weight up. You going to still be saying that? It's a long season. It's a long season. And granted, I love the passion and the heart I get it, but this is early. Exactly, Jump Tube. And Saints fans can't be talking either, because they needed 4 turnovers to win by 1 point. and I would say this: neither one of those wins are really great. Now, let me reframe saying that. The Saints win was not great at home, and you win by 1 point with 4 turnovers, and you got lucky. They cheated the Titans on one of those turnovers. And for the Bucs to go on the road, which I think was the better win anyway, to go on the road, against a top 10 offense, I would say, and win that game. Oh, come on. That's a way better win. Way better win. So the Saints fans have no room to talk. No room at all. They have no room to be running their mouth about, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Now shout out to the Saints defense. They were all like that. Now, granted, it was Tannehill, but you get what I'm saying. I always gave the Saints defense credit. Now that you got a quarterback that I am not a fan of as far as his play on the field, the way he's wired is terrible. So when you look at the Bucs, we just got a better win. Now, let's flip it over to the Bucs defense against the Bears offense. This should be easy money. Exactly, King Cook. This is why I don't get caught up in that running around. They got a couple guys, I guess you could say mid-level, high-level social media platforms beating their chest about Baker Mayfield. And I understand they're Baker Mayfield fans, clearly, right? But after week 1, really? After week 1? You already beating your chest about, oh, get your weight up runs. And it's 16 games left. I'm sitting back. I'm chilling. See, I'm growing with the team. I'm not focused on one player. See, some of those guys are focused on Baker. They literally are focused on him. Anything he does good, they're going to be like, yeah, they're going to beat their chest. But you notice those same guys, they didn't say anything about the stuff that he didn't do well. They skipped over that. So what it is when you got platforms like that, they push a narrative. They don't add context. They just say, oh, yeah, because you can go back and watch all 22. And granted, he's been in the league, 8 years now, seven. Come on, man. You missing some easy throws. Made some bad reads. And remember, this is the same offense. They say he fits it perfect. So what was the struggle then? If he fits this offense perfect, then what was the struggle? I got to keep it real. I got to keep it, I got to keep it 100. There's 16 games left in this season. I'm not beating my chest about Baker Mayfield. I'm not beating my chest about the Bucs. I'm going to grow with the team. I mean, literally one game and they running around here just like, what are we doing here? I mean, those platforms are well known to me. You know what I'm saying? But I sit back from afar and I scratch my head because I'm very curious to see what happens when we lose the game and he doesn't play well. I'm very curious to see what those platforms say about Baker. Are they going to run around and tap dance around the actual play? Or are they going to be like, well, it's everybody else's fault? Are they going to do what Bears fans doing? Blame everybody else. Don't include the quarterback, but everybody else, it's the problem is them. Remember, when teams lose, they lose as a team. One player does not look. I would say this: wins and losses are not an individual stat. Wins and losses are not an individual stat. So when people like to give quarterbacks wins, it's like, what? So you don't disregard the other 45 men? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, man. So I'm not beating my chest about Baker Mayfield, but I want to see improvement in the passing game. And Dave Canales, to go back on offense real quick, he needs to be careful with Baker because Baker can be injury prone too. He can be injury prone because all those rollouts and those waggles and those bootlegs, you expose him to hits. And he's not a big guy. He tries hard, he plays a lot of heart, a lot of passion, intangibles and what they call it, moxie. He plays with a lot of that. Physically, not the most talented guy. Not, he throws the ball with so much torque. He puts everything into it. And he runs like he think he run like that, but he's not a runner. So Dave Canales really need to be careful with Baker with these rollouts. And I think he called way too many at this point. When your running game is terrible and you call them bootlegs, and you notice when he called those plays, The ball came as soon as Baker turned his head. The defender was right there. And you don't think defense is going to start picking up on that stuff early? Tendencies. And if you notice, I think there was one rollout throw that he had some time, but then the rest of them was like hurried throws. They were hurried rollout throws. So as time go by, we're gonna see how Baker pan out. But right now, the bar set low offensively. So Bucs defense against the Bears offense. This is an easy dub right here. Easy victory for the Bucs defense. Chicago Bears offense, and I forgot who was doing a breakdown. It was a guy on social media, Twitter in particular. He had some. I think he was watching Next Gen video, and he was highlighting some plays that the Bears were doing, and he had no clue what they were running. He was like, "What are the Bears doing offensively?" They had that one play when Justin Fields took a sack against Luke Van Ness. He rolled out to the right. Cole Kmet act like he was blocking. Khalil Herbert, he I guess he ran a release route and up the middle and broke it to the right pylon, from the running back position. And then I forgot who the receiver was on the right side, but it was like weird. It was weird. It was like, what are they running? Week 1, you had all this time to prepare, and it was a couple plays that what were they doing? They had another one. It was like they both receivers ran a post corner. I think it was Mooney and Claypool. Like, what are they running? The Bears OC, he is the Packers. I think he's the Packers' former OC or quarterback coach. I think his name was Luke Getsy. That's his name, if I'm not mistaken. Chicago Bear fan, is it Luke Getsy? That's your OC, right? I mean, I don't know football. I'm just taking a guess. But I think that's the OC. And those guys look unprepared. Claypool half ASSing. I don't think he want to be on the team. His status is up in the air right now. Because then also it was film on Claypool on like several plays that he just wasn't really trying. So right now the Bears offensively are to me early in the season. After week 1, the Bears offense is not good. And then Justin Fields threw a pick. His pocket presence isn't great. We about to get into Justin Fields a little bit. So in the Bears and the Bucs defense against Justin Fields, his field, how he sees the field, and some of this tape I've watched on him in week 1, and some of the breakdowns that some of the guys did on social media, Twitter in particular, when they was watching and breaking down on Justin Fields, he didn't see the field well. He's not seeing the field well. Keep this in mind. Here's a tidbit. Justin Fields has never thrown for over 300 yards in today's NFL. In today's NFL with the rules, he's never thrown for over 300 yards. Now let that sink in. And he doesn't see the field well. So it was I need to start writing these names down, but it was a great breakdown on what Justin Fields was looking at. He bails out the pocket early, no pocket presence. He relies on his athleticism, which is great. I don't mind that. But in the NFL, if you want to win games, you got to throw the ball. You got to be able to throw the ball consistently or consistent enough. And this is year 3. I don't see him at this point of his career. It's still early. Now, things can change as the season move on. It's still early, but at this point, he's not seeing things. He's not seeing the routes to develop, and there are some throws he missed. What's up, Pat? There's some throws he missed. He didn't read the coverage as well. That interception was terrible. It was terrible. Now, how he makes up for the lack of passing game right now is his legs. Now, interesting that the fact that they gave him, they signed DJ Moore. They traded for DJ Moore. Traded for DJ Moore. They gave him. Is DJ Moore number one? Borderline maybe. I mean, I guess he's their number one, but they gave him a good receiver. I think Darnell Mooney is pretty nice. Claypool, I don't know what's wrong with him. I think, like I said, Cole Kmet, he's nice. Herbert, the running back, he's not a bad running back. I don't think he's a number one running back. I mean, I know they let David Montgomery go. I think Herbert is a good complimentary back. You know, it's just almost like last week. The Bucs played Alexander Madison, right? Or the Bucs defense shut down the Vikings running game. The Vikings, and I'm gonna shoot at them for a second, or shoot back at them. If they think they're gonna go somewhere with Kirk Cousins chucking the ball around, by all means, have at it. But Alexander Madison ain't it, in my opinion. He's a good complimentary back. His role, what he played with last year with Dalvin Cook, was perfect. And that's the same with Khalil Herbert. I think he's a good complimentary back. Yeah, I think Roschon Johnson is probably their best back from Texas. I was about to get into that too. Maybe Roschon Johnson gets more carries. But Khalil Herbert, I don't see it. You know, I think he's a good back, but I don't think he's like, yeah, we're gonna feed him the rock. And then also the Bears O-line is not good. Now they do have some young players on their O-line. They got some young players that got potential. I think Matt Eberflus is terrible. I've seen enough of him. Good catch, Lightning films. Braxton Jones, the left tackle, and Darnell Wright, I think they're good. I mean, I think they'll be good down the road. You know, the interior is not good, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But like I said, they got a young roster. If they can get the right coach, they can probably be something. But Matt Eberflus ain't it. And Luke Getsy, I don't know what he's doing, you know, as an OC. But the Bucs defense, led by Levante and Devin White and Winfrey Jr., they're going to eat Justin Fields up, man. They're going to eat him up. They're going to eat him up. What can the Bears do offensively that the Bucs are going to be like? The only thing that can worry the Bucs is Justin Fields' scrambling ability. The only thing that the Bucs should fear, really, to be honest with you, is his legs. When the play break down, and if he can, and he'll probably get away for a couple of blitzes, which I think, in my opinion, I think the Bucs should play coverage. I mean, they should play with instead of blitzing all the time. I think they should cut back on the blitzing a lot. But I don't think Fields has a chance against the Bucs defense. I just don't see Fields and company don't have a shot. It's going to be relentless pressure for him to make some plays. And yeah, he's going to scramble around. He's going to get away from some sacks. You know, he's going to scramble around. But I think Todd Bowles will design a plan to have Devin White on him. And yeah, you're right. You're right. Don Breezy, 12. I think Devin White is going to be on him. Yeah, and the only way, I'm going to say this, the only way Fields can do anything in this game, he's going to have to consistently throw the ball. But the problem is he hasn't shown me he can do that. But it's going to be relentless pressure on Justin Fields all game long. Of course, he's going to scramble around. He's going to have a couple, decent runs, like 10-yard runs. He's going to scramble around. That's what he does. He'll make some plays, get out of the pocket, and he'll make a couple throws with his arm, but consistently throwing the ball, he can't do it right now. And he definitely can't do it against the Bucs defense because Carlton Davis is going to be on DJ Moore. Jamel Dean, Carlton Davis, Darnell Mooney, DJ Moore. Who are you taking? Who has the advantage? Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean, DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney. Let's be honest. Let's keep it 1,000. There is no way you can sit here and convince yourself that the Bears offensively have any advantage. How they don't have any advantage. Because I'm gonna take Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis over Mooney and DJ Moore. Because of Justin Fields and the amount of pressure he's going to be under facing the Bucs front seven. I'm going to predict. I think the Bucs going to get about 4 sacks. I think the Bucs going to get 4 sacks and a couple turnovers. Because when Justin Fields throwing the ball, Winfield Jr. going to be waiting on that. Winfield Jr. is going to be waiting on that. I promise you. Winfield Jr. going to be jumping all that. And I'm telling you. And what you going to think? You going to throw to the slot guy? Because Chase Claypool, I don't know what he's doing. We're going to get about 4 sacks, couple turnovers, and it's going to be miserable for Justin Fields. He's going to get garbage yards, and it's going to look good at the end. The number's going to look when the game is over, you're going to see Justin Fields with like 240 yards and, a couple picks. And, you know what I'm saying? He's going to have some yards, but it's going to be trash yards. Garbage yards. Watch. The Bears don't even know who they are right now. The Bears don't have no clue what they are. Because all the talk leading up to the season, before the season started, was about, the Bears offense is going to look good. The Bears offense got DJ Moore. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And let's be real. Kirk Cousins is better than Justin Fields. I think Kirk Cousins is better than Justin Fields. A couple tiers ahead of Justin Fields. So you mean to tell me a quarterback at a lower tier is going to do well against the Bucs defense? A top 10 defense? I don't see it. Levante David is going to shut down Cole Kmet. Devin White is going to be on Justin Fields all game long. And our front 4 or 5 is going to find a way to get pressure. Winfield Jr. will get a sack from a blitz. And when he blitz, he looks for a turnover. I'm telling you, it's going to be terrible for the Bears offensively because they don't have an identity. It's going to take a gargantuan performance by Justin Fields for them to have any success. They're not good. They're just not. Now, the numbers says the Bears haven't started 0-2 since 2017, which is interesting. As bad as they've been. But I just don't see it. I know Fields is going to scramble around. I know they are. I know he's going to scramble around. He's gonna. That's what he does. He's probably gonna get like he'll have over 50 yards rushing. I give him that. But his passing is gonna be terrible. When he got the pass to win the game, it's gonna be terrible. Now the Bears' run game can get skewed because of the quarterback runs, but it counts as a part of the rushing attack. So yeah, the Bears might have 150 yards running, but 60 of those, or 50 or 70 of those, gonna be from Fields running around. And I would say this: the Bucs defense is better than the Packers defense. Now the Packers defense they got some dogs on the defense. They got some guys there. You know what I'm saying? They got some guys on the defense. You know, Jari Alexander. You know, Quan Walk. They got some pass rushers. Sean Gary. You know, they got some pass rushers. You know. Oh, as a matter of fact, speaking of pass, I'm gonna mention this too. While I'm talking about the Bears offensively, how they looked against the Packers, the Bucs have a better defense. You know, I gotta say this. When I was watching the Bears and Packers game, when I was watching the Packers defense, and remember when the Bucs picked what they picked in the top of the second round when they had the first round pick, late first round pick, and there was a couple of names that was being thrown around, Wyatt and Keon White and all that, and the Bucs traded out of the first round and picked at the top of the second round. They picked Logan Hall. I'm going to say this, and like I said, I love watching football. Devontae Wyatt, that dude looked like he gonna be something. Did anybody see that? I'm sure. Oh, the Chicago Bears fans know this, but Devontae Wyatt, that dude, I don't know what he did this offseason, but he looked like a totally different player. I mean, a sack and a half already. And remember now, the Bucs didn't draft him. The Bucs passed him up and drafted Logan Hall. Keon White. Watching the Patriots game against the Eagles. Keon White was a problem. Keon White was a problem. Devontae Wyatt and Keon White, two guys I talked about, are a problem. Didn't anybody see that? Keanu Benton, Zach. Well, the Bears do have Zach Pickens. Did anybody see that? Is it? Am I the only one that seen that? Devontae Wyatt and Keon White, they are a problem. They are a problem already. Two guys. I'm just saying, two interior guys. When I saw Devontae Wyatt, and I hate to be off topic, but I gotta say this because when I talk about guys, the Bucs probably draft and all, and I see them doing things, I'm like, well. Then I see Logan Hall, who did good. I'm expecting him to do better this week right here. But when I see the guys doing much better than Logan Hall, even some of the rookies, it just makes me scratch my head. And it's like I said, Logan Hall played a good game Sunday, in my opinion. Some of y'all don't agree. So I heard some people during the game saying he looks slow, he's too slow. This past Sunday game was his best performance. Now, I mean, the bar is set low, but that was his best performance. I saw a lot of things he did well. I mean, I got all 22. I have NFL Plus, so I can go back and watch this stuff. So he looked good. He looked like he's improving. He's starting to understand his length and his size. And that added weight did help. That added weight did help. And some of those plays he was able to hold anchor down. He got in the backfield a few times. But I want to see more. Remember now, going into the season, the bar for Logan Hall is not high. We as Bucs fans, we wanted to see improvement because last year it was a waste. It was a total waste last year. Like, literally. You feel me? So, shout out to Logan Hall playing a good game this past Sunday, and I want to see more from him against the Chicago Bears interior. Now, he plays the 5 technique in the 3-4. Now, he can line up at the nose tackle, but he plays the 5 technique in a 3-4, a 3-4 DN 5 technique. The Chicago Bears O-line, interior-wise, is not good. So I'm expecting Logan Hall. and Vita and hopefully Clancy. I don't know if Clancy's gonna play, but if he plays, he flashed right away. He flashed right away. Clancy so flashed on a stunt, on a tackle and twist. They lined. Remember I told y'all they had Clancy on the outside at the 5 technique. Or it was almost like a 4-3, like a wide 9, and they looped him inside. They using his speed. He already flashed, and now he just got to stay. He just got to get healthy. You feel me? He just got to get healthy. We just want to see him get healthy. Now, if he does play, they got to be careful. He might have not have been hurt really that bad. They just had him on a snap count. You know what I'm saying? So, but Logan Hall, he did some things that I liked, and some people didn't like it. But I like what he did. But I'm just saying, when I see other guys in his draft class or the class behind him, which is this class, that are already just impactful. Like, and I'm talking about guys that was drafted, or when the Bucs had a chance to draft him, they didn't, or in the second round and beyond. It's like, man, like, so hopefully he improves this game. But he should be able to eat this game too, because the Bears, I'm going to keep saying this, the Bears O-line is not good. They're not good. Devontae Wyatt and company was getting back there consistently. So you mean to tell me, if those guys can do it, you don't think the Bucs D-line is going to do that? Now, granted, we do have a history of not producing sacks without blitzing, but I'm just saying, Bears O-line is not good. Not good at all. I just don't see them being able to establish multiple scoring drives. They might get a field goal or 2 or whatever, or a garbage touchdown, but I just don't see them, especially between quarters 3 and 4, doing anything. I mean, 1 and 3, 1, 2, and 3. I don't see them doing much. And then when the game is out of hand, the game is pretty much over with, then you're going to start seeing him moving the ball. You know how these games work. You know how these games work when your team is up 27-10 in the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden they kind of play prevent defense and the numbers go up. They have a stat for garbage yards too. They do. I think it's the rule is if you are up 14 or more points or 21 or more points, that's garbage yards. Anything after that is garbage yards. Oh yeah, exactly like the films. We saw that firsthand with Tom Brady. So we, as Bucs fans, we know exactly what garbage yards look like because we saw it last year. Garbage yards. We saw it firsthand last year. Yeah, he threw 4,600 yards, but how many of those yards when the game was out of reach? You had no chance of winning, still chucking the ball around, and you still lose. So, yeah, he had 4,600 yards, but some of those yards was garbage yards. The game was out of hand. Bengals, 49ers, Panthers, Steelers. It was awful. It was awful. You hear me? It was awful. Now, let's get back to the Bucs defense. Shaq Barrett, Joe Tryon, Stoinka, JTS, as you want to call him. I need to see more. Every week, I need to see more from them. You feel me? I need to see more from Tryon, specifically Tryon. Break it down. I need to see more from Joe Tryon. Now, he did get a fumble recovery, but let me ask y'all this question. Maybe my eyes fooled me, but as you was watching the game this past Sunday, and we was watching Tryon rush the quarterback, did you see anything that stood out? I'm digging in the bag. So, what Did you? I mean, did you see? Did you see anything that you liked with the pass rushing? Did you see any moves or anything that you liked? Remember, a lot of the pressure came from the Bucs blitzing too. Now they did get a sack. I think it was Anthony Nelson. He got a sack. The Bucs didn't blitz that. They didn't blitz that play, but the generated pressure from the Bucs was a lot of blitzing. But did anybody see anything from Joe Tryon that was like, oh, okay? You feel me? Maybe we need to go ahead and get Cam Gill or Watts some playing time. You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just saying. I just want to put it out there. I just want to put it out there for conversation. I was watching the game and I'm like, outside of that fumble recovery, I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything. I mean, outside of the fumble recovery, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what's going on? And Shaq Barrett. I mean, Shaq Barrett had some tackles at the line of scrimmage. I think he had like 1 or 2 pressures. But even him, it was like, I know he's coming off of ACL, so it's going to take him a little minute to get his legs back right. And also, it takes really year 2. That's when you get your legs back under you. So this season, you really can't get too mad at Shaq Barrett. You really can't. You know what I'm saying? You really can't be too frustrated with Shaq Barrett because coming off an ACL injury, and we've seen this with a ton of guys. A ton of guys. No matter what position you play in, after an ACL injury, it takes you a while to get back to who you really are. And also, when you have an ACL injury or any injury at the knee or the foot, it zaps a lot out of you. Major injuries zap a lot out of you when it comes to football. Don't believe me? Go look at all the players in the NFL history with torn ACLs. And you tell me what's the percentage? What do you think the percentage of them coming back to exactly where they are? And especially at an older age, after 30 or 30 and up. It doesn't happen a lot. We just saw it this past Monday night. Aaron Rodgers, 40 years old. I'm sorry, torn Achilles. I'm sorry, not an ACL. No, I'm sorry. No, it was ACL. We saw it Monday night. Aaron Rodgers, 40 years old. We got lucky with Tom Brady. We got lucky, and it's one of the reasons why he threw the ball so fast too. Tom Brady, it might have been annoying to us as fans, but he knew exactly what he was doing last year. He was not trying to get hurt. As the season went along, when I go back and think about it, as the season went along, Tom Brady was like, I'm not finna get hurt. Every time Tom Brady dropped back, most of the times, like 70% of his throws was like, hut, ball out. Like, good God. Hut. Like, come on, man. Like, you're not even looking down the field. Like, you spamming Chris Godwin and he screens. He spammed a ton of screens. A ton of check downs. He spammed the hell out of Chris Godwin and Rashad White and K-Dot. He spammed the hell out of those guys with those 0 to 7 yard throws. And every now and then he'll take a shot down the field, but it was like he didn't want to get hit. So when you tear Achilles or ACL, any major injury, or you have severe Lisfranc or toe turf, you don't come back the same. So with Shaq Barrett, we're going to have to give him some time. We have to give him some time, man. But Joe Tryon Stoinka, outside of that fumble recovery, which was great awareness by him, I just didn't see anything. I just didn't see. We all expecting Joe Tryon to make a jump, right? We all expecting third year jump. Shoot, Jermaine Johnson already starting to look good. I mean, I saw Jermaine Johnson Monday night, another guy that the Bucs wanted. You know, as soon as he got picked by the Jets, the Bucs traded out of that pick, so you know who they wanted. But Jermaine Johnson got a sack already. and he looked good. You feel me? And here's the same thing with Rashad White with Sean Tucker. It's the same thing with Yaya and Tryon. How long are you going to sit there and wait? If those rookies are ready, put them in. At some point this season, do not be surprised Sean Tucker and Yaya are getting significant snaps at their positions. Yeah, we traded soon as Jermaine Johnson got picked, we traded back to the top of the second round. We passed up on Devontae Wyatt. We didn't even pick we just passed them up. We just said no thanks. So that tells me right there they wanted Jermaine Johnson. And if we would have got Jermaine Johnson, that'd have been great. With Clance, you feel me. You see where I'm going with this. And you could watching Jermaine Johnson, it was like, all right, he into something. I'm just saying. So I told y'all, every week I'm going to pay attention to guys that I was like, maybe the Bucs should look at him. Exactly, Lightning Films. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. It would have been nice. Now we got Yaya. So, but do not be surprised if Tryon don't get better. They put Yaya early, like week 4, week 5. I'm gonna give Tryon a couple more weeks, but if he just doesn't do anything by week 4, now I don't expect him to do much against the Eagles O-line, specifically Lane Johnson. But can anybody do anything against Lane Johnson? I don't see it. But by week 5, if I don't see much from Tryon, you gotta don't be surprised Yaya get half of those snaps from Tryon. I'm just saying. But I don't know if Clancy's going to play. I mean, I know they're being extra careful with him. I know they are being extra careful. I'm just worried that I don't want that to be a lingering injury. You feel me? So we're gonna see. I won't, because Clancy when he was in there, it was right away. I'm gonna give him Tryon some time, man. I don't want to toss him to the side yet. This is year 3. But man, he got to show me something. You got to show me something, man. Oh, by the way, the Bucs are number 1 in the NFL after week 1 in yards against them, rushing yards. Let me repeat that. The Bucs are tied for number 1 in the NFL in stopping the run with the 49ers. I'm just saying. So, in the Bears, their strength is running the ball. I just don't see it happening against us. So right now, Clancy and Lavonte David is questionable. Yeah, we've been like that for a while. We've always been good against the run, but terrible against the pass. I don't know why. It's been like that for a long time. So that's my overall take. And the Bucs special teams, Chase McLaughlin, he's gonna have some field goals this game too. Look, I'm not saying this game gonna be pretty for the Bucs offense, but I do want to see improvement. At the end of the day, I want to see improvement in the pass defense. I want to see improvement in the run game, passing game, and then of course in the individuals as well. But No, I got the Bucs winning. As a matter of fact, what do you think the score is going to be? What is your prediction as far as the score? What is your score prediction? Give it to me, baby. Give it to me. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. What is your score prediction? So we got what, 24-13, 34-14, 20-10, 24-13. Okay. 23-16. Okay, we need some more predictions. What y'all got? So after analyzing what I think about the Bucs and the Bears, and of course those of you that have been watched my schedule prediction video. I do have the Bucs winning this game. I got the Bucs winning this game, scoring over 21 points. I got the Bucs winning this game 28-10. Easy victory. Easy victory. Now, after this game, we got the Eagles Monday Night Football. So, we do need to look good this game. You feel me? 28-10. I got the Bucs winning. Easy victory. No injuries. Looking good. 2-0 coming up. Surprised everybody, right? 2-0. Some people had us at 1-1, like me. And for the Bucs to start out 2-0, that is great. Great confidence building for the Bucs going into the Eagles game, Monday Night Football. And low key, that might be, one of those games you're like, this is actually gonna be one of those games, I'm just saying, 2-0, two teams, because I got the Eagles beating the Vikings. And that'd be interesting. Eagles 2-0, Bucs 2-0, storylines, all this stuff like that. So I think that'd be pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? So, but I got the Bucs winning 28-10. All right, folks. I mean, that's all I got. That's a wrap for me. You know what I'm saying? It's good talking to y'all again. Subscribe to the channel. Like the channel, share all the videos. Don't forget to hit the notification bell icon to notify you all new videos that's posted on this channel. With that being said, folks, 2-0 coming up. 2-0. Easy victory. Fire those cannons. Seize the day. Raise the flag. Hashtag easy victory. Hashtag what does your eyes tell you? Hashtag don't get mad at me. I don't play the game. I just talk about it. Hashtag probability versus possibility. Hashtag reality over optimism. Hashtag life after Brady. Hashtag facts over feelings. Hashtag you better get your weight up, son. Hashtag shake and bake. Hashtag improvement. Yeah. Hashtag I'm crispy, man. Hashtag hold up. Can't wait till Sunday. Hopefully I see you guys there. Enjoy the rest of your week. Sunday, be there or be square. I'm going to holler at y'all. I'm out.